Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Hexagon Pinwheel tower card, which is this. It's absolutely amazing. It's very easy to make and it folds flat to go in an envelope, and it's almost like a never-ending card because it just keeps on flipping and flipping and flipping. And this one here is for you to write your greeting on, so that's taken care of as well. It's an amazingly easy card to make, but obviously the work really is in the layers and whatever you're going to do for the decoration. I've done a lot of mine ahead of time because you really don't want to watch me doing too much gluing, and as you know, I don't edit my videos. If I make a bloomer, you see it, and I'll show you how I get out of it if I can. So this is today's project. I'm going to start off by giving you the measurements you need, and this card is the finished size is 5.5 by 6 inches. I'm going to make my card today 6 inches by 6 inches, and this is suitable for whether you use A4 cardstock or letter size cardstock. I have worked out the measurements, the metric measurements already, but I will be putting a special note on the video, underneath the video, asking you to double check what I've given you for the layers. I'm not totally au fait with metric, but I'm getting a lot more comfortable. But on this one, I'm not 100% happy about what I've given you. So if you could just double check that with maybe some scrap paper or something, I'd appreciate that. But all the measurements will be in the box below together with all the products that I've used. So let me start by telling you the card pieces that you're going to be needing. First of all, you need a piece of soft succulent which measures 6 inches by 8.5 inches. And then you need 5 panels of soft succulent which measure 2.5 inches by 6 inches. Then you will need 6 basic white panels which measure 2.25 inches by 5.75 inches. And then you will need 6 pieces. Oh, that's right, that's 6 pieces. 5 pieces of designer series paper. I'll tell you about the paper in a minute, but as you can see, I've already put all those together because that was quite a lot of gluing there. You will also need 6 pieces of basic white cardstock which measure 1.25 inches by 5.75 inches, and then you will also need 6 pieces of, I've used Pansy Petals here, which is 1 1/8 inches by 5 5/8 inches. I don't think I told you that one, did I? That's 2.25 inches by 5.75 inches. My images that I'm going to be using are the pansies from this sheet, all of which can be die cut with the dies from the pansy set, and I've used leaves from here, again, all die cut from the pansy dies. I've used that large one for the pansies and the smaller one for the pansies, that for one of the leaves and that for the other one of the leaves. There is a matching stamp set that goes with that, which is Pansy Patch. If you wanted to, you can use these to stamp and die cut your pansies from. I decided that I would do mine as the from the designer series paper. And while I'm talking about stamp sets I'm using, I'm also going to be using All Squared Away. This has become one of my favourite birthday sentiments, so I'm going to be using that. I'm also going to be using Good Things Grow, Like Our Friendship, because I thought growing flowers, it all went together really quite nicely. So that's those. As you know, I'm normally just do like 1 or 2 colours. I don't normally go for multicolours, but I wanted to use this paper and I wanted to use the pansies in as many different colours as I could. Well, there are 4 colours. Now this one isn't quite right. I knew that when I did it, but for the orange ones, let me just get this sheet down. For the orange one, I've used Pale Papaya, and it really should have been Calypso Coral. But because I was using the new colours, I thought I would stick to them as far as possible. I've used So Saffron for this one, which goes nicely. I've used Fresh Freesia for that one, and polished, I forgot what that one is, polished pink for that one. And they all have their matching little ones as well. That's the orange one, that's the little Fresh Freesia, that's a little polished pink, and that's a little So Saffron. Now the paper that I've used there, let's just put those back. As you can see, if I'd used the same colour on these pansies, the card would have been a little bit boring, to say the least. So I got myself outside my comfort zone and have used several colours. The Designer Series paper, all of these are the designs that you get if you order the Designer Series paper packs, the 6x6 inches. I've used as this one the 2021-2023 in colour designs. I've used them all except the Evening Evergreen, which is a dark green. I did consider using it for the back one and these layers, but decided against that. I didn't want it to be dark. And the So Saffron, which comes in the subtles, has also got the same designs as this one. Okay, the 4 designs you can choose from if you want to use those papers. Right, so what we need to do, this is the one for where you can write your sentiment, and I have an idea about decorating that as well, so I want to show you. You'll also need scraps of basic white, depending on what you're going to do for your images and also for your sentiments. You will need it for sentiments if you die cut like I have. So let's get started. The instructions I have came from the first Pinwheel Hexagon project that I saw was by Rick Atkins in the US. He's a demonstrator in the US, and I saw a photograph of his card on Pinterest, so I went onto his blog hoping to see that he had a video, and I couldn't see one, but he had written down the instructions, so I thought, oh, I can do that. I went onto YouTube and did a search for Hexagon Pinwheel Tower card, and Rick's video came up, so I was able to watch that. And there was another one that I watched, can't think, and she did this. Everybody seems to be doing different sizes. There was a third one that I didn't worry about watching. And once you've made this, you will see how easy it is to change your size. Once you've worked out how the calculations are done, it is quite easy. As I say, Rick's measurements were 5.5 by 6. I'm doing my 6 by 6, and it was an easy transition to make. Now, what you need to do first is, because it's quicker and it's more reliable as far as I'm concerned, I'm using my scoreboard. So with your 8.5 inches across the top here, you need to score at 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches and 6 inches. Just make sure I've done that correctly. Yep. The reason I say it's quicker is because there's absolutely no lining up to make sure I've got it in the wrong position. The right position, it probably would have been the wrong position. So once you've done this, you need to fold. And I made two mistakes on mine. You may not have noticed it, but I will point them out because I want you to be able to avoid making the same mistakes. Okay, so fold all of these so you get a nice burnish. And of course making sure that you line up nice and straight, otherwise you're going to have a wonky hexagon. This card would be absolutely brilliant for Christmas cards. I can see like Father Christmases and snowman and all sorts of things like that. Okay, so that's your card basics, and what we need to do is, if you lay your card down, so you've got your last inch column into your last score line, if you close that over, you'll probably find it buckles a bit. Okay, that doesn't fit very flat. So what you need to do is just cut a tad off of there. Now I prefer to use a guillotine when I'm doing this kind of a cut. This is one that I've had absolutely donkey's years. So I'm just going to line that up so I can take absolute tad off of there. And I do recommend that you do it a small piece at a time, because you can go back and cut it a second time. There we go, that folds really nicely. Okay, and the amount that I've cut off is that. Okay, I don't know how big a tad that is, but it's got to be something like a 1/64 of an inch or something. But just take a little bit off at first, and then if it's not enough, take another little bit off. Now what we're going to do, the first mistake I made was I was so insistent of getting my glue at the end. I was a bit over generous in some places and it did leak through. If that happens, you'll find when you stand your card down, it will actually stick to your surface. So you will need to go over this with your eraser rubber, to adhesive eraser, to remove your glue on there. Okay, I can see I've still got a bit on the top here, but I didn't really go over that one. The other mistake I made, and I will remind you about this when I get there, you can have this card that way, or you can have it that way. Okay, so it can go that way, whoops, like never-ending card, or you can have it go that way as a never-ending card. Really doesn't matter. Unfortunately, that one, I made sure that that was upright on my right hand side. That's right. These are all right, all up the right way, but then I put these on upside down. Okay, hopefully the recipient will be too busy looking at these and not notice that the other side is upside down. By the way, these come from, the stamp set is the all squared away, and you get these, so you can stamp these and put the squares behind them, and they've got floral square dies to die cut them, and they've also got individual little dies to die cut the extra little flowers I've done on top. And I do think this would have looked better had I chosen a darker colour to use. Okay, so that's another good bundle to buy, because those background stamps can be used for all sorts of projects that you're working on. Right, let's start putting our card together. And I'm going to be using Tombow, of course. You could use your, what do we call, Seal Plus, or you could use the tear and tape. But you know me, I like Tombow. Now, it's not until you start adding your layers where you decide where which way you're going to be doing this. Okay. So once you've done the first one, use your bone folder to make sure it flattens down beautifully. Okay, so this is our first large panel. Now at the moment it still doesn't matter which way up I'm going. So you need the next one. With this one standing up, where you've got that little bit in there, you're going to stick this on. Okay, so that is going to form our hexagon. Now the only thing I want to pay attention to is that one's going to be, no, that one's going to be the one that we're writing on. That one I want in the middle, because I'm going to put sentiments on that one. And I want to mix my colours up as well. I'll put these two next. Okay, so move that over. Okay, so that's the first one that you've adhered down. Now put glue on this one. You need to decide how close you want to go if you're using Tombow. At least you know the remedy if you do go too close. Right, and what I do, I place that on, make sure that lines up there, that lines up there, and then I fold it over and I push this in. Okay, so I know that that has gone in as far as it will do. Okay. Each time you do this, just make sure that it will still fold flat. So the next one I'm going to have as so saffron. So that's going to be my yellow one. Push that in as far as it will go, and then close it, and as it closes it will be pushed out to where it needs to be, and then you push in just to make sure it stays in. Okay, so you can see how this is beginning to go. In fact, that's gone too far over. I thought I'd pushed that too far as that was going in. Let me try that one again. Good old Tombow. If you do this, just pull it slowly and it will come. Let's just put a bit more Tombow on just in case that's not sticky enough. The trouble is with Tombow, if you put glue onto something and leave it to dry without putting anything on top of it, it becomes tacky, like post-it notes. Right, now don't be so forceful this time. Line it up on fold, move it over. Right, that's it. Don't realise my own strength at times. I pushed it and I pushed this one away from where it had adhered onto. Okay, so that's another one. Now I want the green one in here. Can you imagine how bored you would be if I hadn't done any of this gluing ahead of time? That's right up to the glue line, the score line rather, and that's straight and that's straight. Bring it over. Okay, so that's that one done. And then this one. And what colour was the last one? That was the So Saffron, so I'm going to use the Fresh Freesia next. For the envelope, for the 6x6, you can either do it by using your envelope punch board if you have one, or do what I do and I buy them from the local craft shop. Okay, so that's that one done. Now the pale papaya, if you're one of the crafters who are joining in with my paper share, please don't forget that I need everything confirmed by Monday lunchtime. That's tomorrow lunchtime by the time, if you're watching this on the day that I publish it. So Monday 2nd of August 2021. I need you to email me your confirmation that you want to go ahead, and then also let me know your name, address, telephone number, email address I'll obviously have because you'll be emailing me, and also let me know what you would like to choose as the celebration gift. There we go. So now this, as I say, is the writing one. I will adhere it, I think, before I do the decorating on it, because I'm not planning anything difficult. If you're planning to stamp on this, then I do recommend you stamp it before you adhere it to your frame. Let's just get my tweezers rather. There we go. Okay, so that's your hexagon. And just to double check on the size, this is going to be awful if it doesn't work, because I haven't done this size before. Okay, this is a 6x6 envelope. Ah, there you go. It's a bit thick on that side, but it will still go in. Okay. In fact, I probably want to put it in sideways. I think that's probably a better idea. Now I can't get it out. Well, the recipient may not be able to get it out of the envelope without tearing it. The envelope, that is. And I'm sure the recipient will be absolutely thrilled with it. In fact, that feels a bit tighter. Oh, look, that goes much, much better. So you need the panels going across your envelope, not down your envelope. Come on. Come on, otherwise I'm going to tear your... I don't like waste. There we go. Wiggle it out. Right, okay. So, next we need to adhere these on. Now this is where I need to decide which side I want my card to turn. And I personally find it easier to flip that way. But what I imagine is, if you're left-handed, you probably prefer to flip it that way. But if that one's got a directional pattern, you've obviously got to make up your mind before you start. But yes, that's definitely easier for me. Okay, so these are going to be adhered onto this side. So there's more gluing, I'm afraid. I'm sure you all know that the new Christmas mini catalogue goes live on Tuesday the 3rd of August, which is next Tuesday. And also at the same time we're starting our second celebration event of the year, and that is when you can choose a free gift from the celebration brochure. There are level 1 and level 2 gifts. Level 1 is if your order is up to £45 or €60. There are also level 2 gifts, which is if your order is up to £90 or €120. And when you earn a level 2 gift, you can either choose one level 2 gift or you can choose 2 level 1 gifts. The choice is yours. And the celebration is for every £45 of your order, which means if your order was, say, £135 or €180, you would earn 3 level 1 gifts. So you could choose either level 2 and a level 1 gift or 3 level 1 gifts. And it just goes on. If you're in the UK, France, Germany, Austria or the Netherlands and you don't have a demonstrator that you work with already and would like the catalogues, please email me at janb@janbcards.com and I'll be happy to send you the catalogues. I can send them in French or German if English isn't your first language or your preferred language. And during celebration there's a bonus for hostesses, that's anybody who holds a workshop, and it also applies to anybody who places a larger order. I can't think how much it was, I think it's £275. You'll get a free stamp set. I can't think what that one's called. And what's the other offer? Oh, and as always there's the joining offer as well, which is pretty good. For your £99 or €129, you get to choose £130 worth of free products and €175, trying to remember what the values are. And on top of that, you can choose a free bundle from a list of 12 bundles, and the bundles range in price from £29.50, which is a punch, which is ideal for anybody who doesn't have a die cutting machine, up to £55.75, and I have forgotten the values for euros on that one. So all in all, if you chose £55 stamp bundle, you'd be getting products to the value of £185.75. Amazing. And I would love you to join my team if you live in Austria, Germany, France, Netherlands or the UK. So there we go. That is your card put together. Now all we need to do is to decorate it. Now first of all I'm going to decorate this one. And what I have here, have I done this? It's going to be next to that one, but then never mind. I don't think I've got any other halves, have I? No. Alright, this is going to be next to that one, but can't be helped. So what I'm going to do, these were at the edge of the sheet of designer series paper, and I still die cut them, and I'm going to set them on the bottom here. So let's bring Tombow back. as I was cutting out all my shapes, I was putting all the edge pieces on one side so that if I want to use them, I can. Right, if I just put that one down there, I don't mind if it goes over a bit, but just make sure it's right at the bottom there. And then this one I'm going to allow it to overlap. I'm not putting dimensionals on these because they do get folded up flat inside the card, and I think if it gets posted it's going to bend the panels. I know this is going to cause a bump where it's overlapping, but I'd rather that. Okay, so that looks quite nice, doesn't it? Your message will be on there. Right, on my flowers, oh no, let's do the sentiments first, which is that one, isn't it? That's my scrap. And I'm going to use polished pink. I've already stamped the other two. Let's put this on my scrap of paper. Now on this, I'm not using a die to cut this out. I often see people having done this on their cards, and I always think that looks really nice. I'm going to do that, but I very rarely ever do. I doubt if you've ever seen me do it, but this is what I've done with these ones. Okay, good things grow, like our friendship. Now the reason I've got this one here is to show you, oops, I've got some glue, it's much better to give a wide berth. Don't go too close to cutting out. This one, I've hit the top of the T and H, and it just doesn't look as nice and good in the corner here. That doesn't look very nice. So it's better to give it just a little bit of freedom to move, if you like. And that one was okay as well. Gave that quite a bit of space around it. And there's no right and wrong with this. You just cut so that you go around the edges. I'm just going to cut like that. If you don't like this idea, then just use a die to cut them out. So I'm going to start up here, come round the corner. Okay, see, I'm giving it quite a lot of space there. I'm not trying to go too close to the stamped letters. I'm not worrying about trying to keep this straight either. The only thing I really pay attention for is to make sure I don't have any sharp points. And that normally happens as you go round a bend or as you open the scissors to start a new cut. Oh, there's one there. That's better, got that little bit off. There we go. That looks fine. I'm happy with that. So, good things grow, like our friendship. And I decided on a yellow pansy. I'm going to put that like that. And I've tried to incorporate the colours from here, which is pale papaya, fresh freesia, soft saffron, and polished pink. As I say, I'm not going to be doing any dimensionals on here. I'm just going to add them flat. And I'm not doing any curling of my flowers to raise those up. One thing that I do when I'm using these die cuts, which I have with the hollies before, I don't like that you can see the back of the paper. I mean, I'm grateful that we have double-sided designs, but when I'm curling up flowers I don't like to see the back of it. So what I do is, if it's a die cut, I just die cut white shape the same as this, and then adhere it onto the back and onto that one, so it just looks white. It works really well. Right, let's have this one first. Just going to blot it on there because it looks a little bit heavy with glue. I'm just going to put Good Things Grow. Like Our Friendship. Now, it doesn't have to be straight, but I don't want it overly wonky. And I have my, in fact, let's put this one down first, I think. Then we know where to put this one. That's good. So let's have some glue on this one. Oops, don't do it upside down. And when I put these on, I was paying attention to make sure I had them all up the right way. Even though I was talking. That's when I normally forget to concentrate. There we go. So let's put our other flowers on. Pansies. Right, let's move that there. Bring this one over here. I haven't really decided how I'm going to do these. But that looks good. I don't want to have all 4 pages looking identical. Although all the flowers will be all the same colour on each page. Tilt that slightly, doesn't have to be straight. That one as well. Does that look alright? I like it. So the next colour is Pale Papaya. Come on, lay down. And that's this one. So this time we'll have one in the middle, one top, one bottom. Let's leave that one sitting there, then I can do these two. There are plenty of videos on YouTube showing you how to make this that have got 4 sides on it. if you want to have a look at that one. If you go onto YouTube, onto the search box and go type in Pinwheel Tower card, and that should bring it up for you. Right, I'm gradually working these big pansies down to the bottom. I've always liked pansies. They're like smiling flowers. We bought 2 hanging baskets for our garden this year of pansies. I didn't realise that you had to deadhead them. But by deadheading them, they just keep on flowering. They're beautiful. And ours is like the fresh freesia colour here, the dark purpley bit. That's that one, and now so saffron. Which way do we want this one to go? Don't want it to go the same as that. But that's alright, no, centre. Yeah, you can go centre. Let's turn it a little bit. Which way is that flower going? Oh, did them both. Oh, that one there should have been one of these, because these are both the same. Oh, well, at least it makes it different, doesn't it? None of the others are both the same. That's my kind of logic. So there we go. What do you think of that? Now, don't you think that is just absolutely beautiful? Not really giving it a chance to dry here. I know what I needed to do, and that is, I wanted to, should have sorted this out beforehand, but I wanted to put some yellow, oh you can't, can you, because otherwise you're going to, it'll be squashed underneath. But I did think that I could put some of my bees on here, couldn't I? Because they're all going to be outside. Might stop the envelope though, mightn't it, because it's a bit tight anyway. Maybe my envelope's a little bit on the small side, or I should be using my 6.5 by 6.5 envelopes. Anyway, that is today's project. Probably looked quite formidable to start off with, but once you get going, really it's just a lot of gluing. That looks alright as well, doesn't it? I might have a look, see if I've got any that were cut from that part of the designer series paper as well. So there we go, that's today's project. I hope you like it, and I really hope you give it a try. It really is very, very easy. With this one, you can probably see that I've used Wink of Stella on these little flowers. Yes. Okay. And they are separate dies in the set, those little flowers. But as I say, I should have used a darker colour. But there we go. That is my card for today. I hope you like it, and I really hope you give it a try. as I said, I will put all the measurements in the box below the video and all the products that I've used. I'll make note of the score lines and I will include the metric. And if you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button down there in the right hand corner, and then click the bell so that you get a notification each time I upload a new one. If you place an order through my online shop, first of all I'd like to say thank you very much for choosing me as your demonstrator. I do appreciate it. Please remember to use the August HOSTESS code so that I can send you a free product when I send you Happy Mail at the beginning of September. Happy Mail that I send out is always a thank you card that I've made unused with an envelope so you can use it, as well as a handmade gift from me. And if you've used this, you will get a free product too. So it really is happy mail. So many thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next week. In the meantime, please take care, stay safe, and of course, happy crafting. Cheerio.